Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are back to try some more new products. So I have a bunch of stuff that I want to test out with you guys. A couple of these products I've tried before, a couple of them are brand new. So I will link everything down below. I'm excited to get into this. If you are excited about these new launches, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. And let's go ahead and get into it. All right, I went ahead and zoomed you in a little bit closer, and I want to start out with a fragrance. So this just launched, I think today. I don't know if this video will be going up today or tomorrow, but this is the new Fleur Cherry Stem fragrance. So this was sent to me, and I have to say, I love this fragrance. This is truly chef's kiss. If you want to get into the cherry fragrances, but a lot of them are just too heavy, too cough syrup-like, too smoky, this is so good. It's so juicy. The notes are black cherry, red freesia, and ebony woods. They do describe this as a fruity floral. I definitely agree with that fruity part. In terms of the floral, I'm not getting a ton. I would say a little bit of that red freesia, but this is so juicy. It's almost like Tom Ford Lost Cherry, but I find it to be just sweeter, juicier, while also still being grown. It's not something that I feel like is like a body mist, if that makes sense. The only thing I will say is it doesn't last as long as, let's say, like Tom Ford Lost Cherry. I think just in general, anything that is like sweeter and not as mature or strong is not going to last as long. So you definitely have to reapply, I would say, after a good like 4 hours, but it's worth it to me because this is what I've wanted every cherry fragrance to be. They knocked it out of the park with this one. Next, I want to go in with this Clarin Lip Perfector that I purchased from Sephora. I don't know if this is new or just like newer at Sephora, but when I saw it in store, I immediately wanted it. So this is in the shade 05. It's a really pretty kind of like shimmery lip balm gloss, but I really was attracted because it does have some color payoff. So I just wanted to apply this while I'm doing my eye makeup, and it does have a nice kind of vanilla scent. I was just really drawn to the fact that it had some pigment. So I don't know, I might pick up another shade during the sale. I know the friends and family sale is coming, so I have to get my cart ready, but I keep buying things that aren't on sale because I need to get them for review. So I'm kind of in the trenches right now. So I wanted to play today with this Hung Van Gogh purple palette. I mentioned this when I did a dedicated first impressions on the brand, and I wanted to try this, but it had a little bit of like a drier swatch, and they were a little bit, I guess, more sheer. I did end up speaking to Hung. He is so nice. Actually, I was surprised. He messaged me, we had a great conversation. He thanked me for my honest opinions, and really refreshing to have a brand owner be open to constructive criticism and just honest feedback. So that was really nice of him. It was just a great conversation. So it made me just want to support him even more. So I want to play around with this today because I did use more of a neutral palette. I'm going to start with this color right here. Let me go ahead and zoom you in even more. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I never plan anything. It's just not in my nature, but sometimes I end up deep into something that I was not prepared for. I'm gonna start actually stamping because I was trying to go with a lighter hand, but these are just a little bit softer, but they kind of create a really pretty like pastel vibe. I saw Cheryl did a look with this and it looked so pretty. So once I have that placement, I'm just gonna soften around the edges. And I'm actually gonna go in next to this shade. It's kind of like a shimmery, softer shade. I wanna see if this will help blend and soften. Sometimes these shades with glitter in them or shimmer, like a soft satin, actually do blend nicely in the crease. And I'm going back in with that original shade. I just want to intensify. I kind of find that a patting motion seems to be better for these. And then I'm going to go in with that shimmer shade. And then I'm having a little bit of like choppiness at the top, but you know, that could be me too. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here on a clean brush and try to just smooth the edges. So I want to add some more depth. So I'm going to jump into this shade down here with a rougher 01. The thing I'm noticing is these really do sheer out. Like once you start blending, they become much more sheer. I probably should have not set my lid with powder. I'm gonna go back into that original shade with a flat 02 and then soften. And then I'm gonna go into this really deep shade. I think this is the darkest in the palette. Just to add some depth on this outer portion. And then I think for the lid, okay, so this one has more of like a blue shift. This one's more bright. Let's go in with the more blue one. It looks really pretty. These formulas are just much more standard, like the shimmers. They feel like a standard shimmer, if that makes sense, or metallic. But it seems like in each palette, there's like a topper kind of, but it doesn't feel that way. So I'm assuming like this one is kind of that iridescent topper. So I'm going into that one now, the brighter one, and just kind of packing that on top. And then going back in with that brush. Biggest struggle I'm having is like just this grabbing on this outer portion here, which I don't know. So let's just move on to liner. This is the NYX Epic Ink. Okay, so I went ahead and finished my wings and then applied these lashes. They're a little bit intense. I just took a couple pieces off of the pre-mapped extensions from Ardell. I love this line from Ardell because they have different sizes and lengths. I just got the cat eye one and I think I used like the longest section. It's a little much for me, but I cannot get this to soften around the edges. And again, I do struggle usually because of my microblading, but I'm not gonna make myself crazy over it. I think the purple palette is a little bit difficult to work with. I don't know if it's just, you know, my skills, but that is what it is. So I wanna move on and I'm applying my Bubble Cosmic Milky Toner. This is so phenomenal. I've had a few of you tell me that you bought this on my recommendation and that your makeup is sitting beautifully, which we love to hear. This is a really, really hydrating toner. For foundation, I picked up the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. So this is supposed to be a reformulation. We're seeing that a lot with different formulas. If any of you guys have any information on why like every foundation and just powders are getting reformulated, please leave your theories and comments down below. Now on the Charlotte Tilbury website, it says that it has longer wear than the original, which is 24 hours, lighter feel, a 3D matte non-flat finish, waterproof, transfer proof, humidity proof, and sweat proof, even more skincare benefits, and 44 new Air True shades. So I picked up the shade 5 Neutral. The packaging is very, very nice, very heavy. So I'm gonna give it a good shake. Definitely looking a little bit dark, but I'll just pull it down my neck. We're getting into like the cold here. It's starting to feel like fall. So I'm probably gonna be wearing long sleeves and I'm just gonna wear a turtleneck and call it a day. So I'm gonna use a BK Beauty 116 and work off my hand. Yeah, this is definitely darker. I feel like I've had this issue with Charlotte Tilbury in the past. Coverage, very, very, very high. Whoa, I'm gonna have to pull this like all the way down here. So obviously this shade is pretty deep for me right now. I wish I would have gotten light. So this is what the Charlotte Tilbury foundation looks like. Coverage is really, really good. Packaging is great, heavy, really like that. It feels pretty comfortable on the skin. I would say it has this interesting dry down. Like when you're using it, it's liquid, but then it kind of sets on the skin, it still transfers and feels a little bit tacky, but you can see like how it's sort of set down. Like if I try to blend this, it's having a hard time moving. So I could see that it's going to be a longer wear. So I feel like the texture looks pretty good. I could see this one needing minimal powder if you're somebody that doesn't love lots of powder, but definitely a full coverage glam type of foundation. So I wanna go in next and try out this from MPH Beauty. So this is owned by a makeup artist. She's super, super talented. And I picked this up after seeing people rave about it. Now, technically this is supposed to be like a highlight and contour palette that you're supposed to use for underpainting because that's kind of the technique that she uses. I didn't want to do that today because I didn't want to, you know, change the coverage and everything of the Charlotte Tilbury, but I got the light palette, and I have to say that people were saying this reminds them of like RCMA. This is super heavy and weighted. There's a mirror in here. It feels very luxe. I didn't think it could because online it looks like it's going to be just like almost like a Natasha Denona 5-pan, but this is heavy duty, very, very nice and luxe. And in here you have, I think it's you have a color corrector, highlighter, highlighter, contour, contour. So these are definitely contours because they are leaning more cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Contour 2 in here, and I'm gonna use my Makeup by Mario F4 brush. And like I said, these are supposed to be more of like underpainting that I do wanna try in another video, but. Okay, so this is the deepest shade in the light palette. I feel like I always go too low, and that's something I think I was watching some of her videos and she was like placing contour higher up. Somehow I always forget that, but that blended very, very easily. This is a contour shade, but it has a little bit more warmth and depth than the Contour 1. I just wanted to use it because this foundation is quite dark, so I want to make sure I'm like actually adding some definition to my skin. Okay, so this is what the MPH contour looks like on the skin. It doesn't have as much slip as I anticipated, but it blended really easily, and I feel like it did give me quite a bit of depth, even being the light palette. So I want to move into blush, and then we'll come back to the color corrector and highlighter. So I have these from Too Faced they sent over. These are the Cloud Crush Whipped Lip and Cheek Color. So I have 4 shades here. Everything in me wants to use these shades, but I have some funkier lip colors and I'm like, don't do it. So I think I might go in with Bed of Roses. So I'm gonna swatch these. These are definitely a whipped formula. So this is Headliner, which I don't think it is gonna go with what we have. I may have to use Bed of Roses. This one is definitely more of a berry tone. We also have Peach Blur. This is the one that I used the other day. It's more of like a terracotta peach. And then the pink one, which I might mix in a little bit today. This is Candy Clouds. That's like magenta. So let's start off with this shade, the Bed of Roses. I just feel like it's gonna go the best with the eye look and the lip colors. I do feel like these are also long lasting because when you try to remove them, they leave a stain behind. And then I'm flipping my brush around. I'm just gonna blend into the blush because this is a deeper shade for me. And I'm gonna try to not go so crazy with my blush. It's like against everything in my being. I'm like, what? Like, it's one of my favorite things is to have a funky, like bright blush. But the problem is then I can't do like fun eye looks or lip colors because I end up looking wild. So I'm trying to put the focus today on the lips and eyes. This is really beautiful, actually. I don't think that that's too deep. That's how it translates on the skin. I also think it's nice that this formula is matte because we are seeing the resurgence of matte products, which I'm happy about. So many things for so long were just literally like insanely dewy, wet, emollient, sticky, and a lot of people don't like that, and it doesn't suit everyone's skin. So I'm happy to see that we are seeing a little bit of a shift to more of like that 2016 makeup, which basically means it's just matte. So I think this looks really, really nice. So I wanna go in next to that MPH palette, and I'm gonna start with the color corrector on my under eyes and see if it can brighten up a little bit. So I'm just gonna focus this right on my under eye where I have darkness. I mean, I feel like that did a really nice job. If you compare, still have a little bit of darkness coming through right here, but I mean, I don't even feel like I need that much concealer after that. So this, I love, especially if you have darkness that you just want to quickly go over to get out the door in the morning. I'm really impressed with that. I think that was just like super effortless, and it feels really lightweight on the under eye. So I wanted to go in and use this RMS concealer. I am loving this, so much so that I bought another shade. So they sent this to me. This is in WN012, and it's just a little bit dark, but I find this to be so nice and hydrating, but lightweight on the under eyes. Has a good like medium coverage, just really, really nice for every day. I also actually really like the little brush. It does a great job if you want to like pinpoint. So I've been really, really impressed with this. Of course, we did put that color corrector underneath, so that will help with the coverage, but I did demo this in a trying new makeup video a few videos back if you're interested, and I was pretty impressed. So now that we have all of the creams and liquids on, I'm gonna use my L'Oreal powder to set. I think I just heard UPS, which means that my Dior highlighting quad may have been delivered. So I'm probably gonna run down and grab that so we can play with it today. So everything is setting nicely, but something funky happened like right in between my brows. I used a brush that was on my desk, and I don't know if there was like highlighter or something on that. It kind of like picked up. So I went ahead and did my brows, and then I finished off my eyes. I used the Kylie Cosmetics liner. I will link it for you guys. But I did notice I have some like dryness on this eye that I did not see until like after I set. So I'm not sure what happened there. And then I almost feel like my darkness is coming through on both sides. So I don't know if it lifted like right in here, because I used that color corrector and a concealer. So I'm not sure if something was like lifting or it was sticky, so I'll have to kind of figure out what happened there. But I have these new powders from One Size. So these are the Boucle Silk airbrush powder. I have light and fair, and these are supposed to be used as like a finishing powder. You can also use them to pack on coverage. I wanted to swatch them. Okay, so this is the fair. It feels really like light and smooth. It's almost like one of those like silky paper smooth. Okay, this is light. I don't see any shimmer. When I think of a finishing powder, I usually am thinking of like the Hourglass that have that sheerness. It says you can build coverage with these by packing them on. So I almost wonder if I could try that on my under eye. So I went ahead and grabbed a BK Beauty 110, and I'm gonna dip in to the fair. There is some kick up in the pan. It's not supposed to be like a full coverage powder. I feel like it did brighten up a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like it almost did enhance my pores here. I want to pull this up and see exactly what they're claiming. It says that it's a baked finishing powder that creates an all-over airbrush silk finish, evens tone with sheer dimensional coverage. I don't know if it enhanced my pores or my pores are just pouring, if you know what I mean. There's no shimmer that I can detect. It does have a really like silky feel. I switched brushes so I can just really sweep this on. I don't know. I can't tell. My forehead's doing some funky things. I almost feel like it does have some sort of something because my forehead almost looks like spotty now. My forehead, I don't love what happened there. It just feels like it looks kind of like blotchy now. Can you see that? It's like really, really subtle though. So there is a shimmer, or not a shimmer, there's a little like smidge of a glow. So if you were to compare it to the Hourglass, they feel completely different. These are like silky, almost like silicone, like a slip to it, whereas the Hourglass is more of like a standard powder. In terms of the glow or the shimmer, whatever, the illumination, I would say if the Hourglass is a 10 out of 10 in terms of like that glow, these are like a 4. So there's like a very, very, very subtle glow to these. So they probably would be better if you like that glow, but you feel like you don't like how it enhances your texture. They're much more forgiving if you don't like that look. I'm intrigued at this point. So I just ran downstairs and I was lucky to get my stuff today. So we will get into the Dior palette here in a second, but I did also grab this Laneige Lip Glowy Balm. This is in one of their like sparkly shades called Pink Supernova. I really wanted to see how this would be. It looks really pretty. Okay, it smells really yummy, like juicy. What is that? Cupcake or something, cupcake or fruity. So this is what it swatches like. I can feel the sparkles if I like really try to feel them, but they're not like gritty. But I can feel like the glitters if I really rub my lips together. That's really pretty though. This would be one that I would put like on top of lipstick to give me that shine, because I do love the Summer Fridays birthday cake, I think is what it is. So I may have to go back and get the white one, because there was like a white and then this was the pink shimmer. I'm happy I got this. I think it's just fun and sparkly and really pretty. So let's jump in now to the Dior palette. I do not know what to expect, and Dior is also reformulating and bringing back different shades of their Backstage Glow Maximizer palettes. So I picked up only one because I already have the original and I didn't want to buy another one just to compare. That's just like really expensive for me to do for no reason. I love the original Universal, like it's one of my most used, so I'll swatch it and kind of show you today. And then they did come out with 3 other shades. There's actually supposed to be another one that's like icy cool, but it was on the website and then it was gone. So I don't know what is happening with that. But I ended up getting the 04 or 004 Rose Gold Glow. But looking at it in person, it almost appears like these 2 shades are gonna have glitter, and then these 2 are gonna be like the standard ones. So I don't know what is happening, but I just scoured to find my Dior palette and I cannot find it anywhere. I looked in my travel bag because I was like, did I take it? But then I was like, no, I usually wouldn't take that because I'd be afraid that it would break. That's like so weird. But the Universal, it's the one that doesn't have glitter. So it's just like really pretty. Think like the ABH Amrezy highlighter, but in 4 colors. So I hope they did not change that, because technically they supposedly reformulated it. But let's go ahead and swatch these. So we're gonna start with this pink shade, and this appears to be like a metallic, which is what I want to see. And then we'll go into this shade up here, is the one that I feel like is gonna be, okay, wow. I thought that was gonna be like a glitter shade, but it seems like it's more of like a full body shade. So let's go into this one. Maybe this is the glittery one. They feel different, like when you're touching them. This one maybe feels like it might have some of that glitter in there, but they don't feel like the glitters from the past. If you've tried some of them in the past and they were like really sheer and glittery, these feel different. And then let me swatch this one down here. This one feels like it's a little bit of like a more subtle. I'm gonna build that one up. Okay, so I'm really not mad at this. It's kind of hard to tell though, like looking at these. But let me turn this down and show you like close up so you can kind of see this. So let's just go ahead and start applying. I think I want to start with the lightest shade here that has that like iridescence. It seems to be the softest. So I'm just gonna dip my brush in. Now this is a different formula from the Universal palette. This is definitely like more of a subtle highlighter. I mean, I'm not mad at that, but I do prefer like the standard really, really intense highlights. So that's the first shade. I think I want to go in next to this shade, which is that one I thought was maybe glittery. There's definitely some glitter particles. I don't know if you can see like right in here, but it does build nicer than palettes in the past that had the glitter, but I still don't love like the glitter particles. It's still doable though. It's better than I thought in terms of like a glitter. I don't want to go too crazy because I don't want to ruin everything. I'm going to go on the other side. This is not going to match at all. I think I'm going to try this shade, which looks almost like it's like a gold green. Okay, so this side, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit like dry. It's not my favorite. I'm trying to figure out these formulas because they're definitely different. I wanted to try to apply this one almost like as a blush topper. I feel like maybe all of these have some glitter in them, but it's just a different kind of glitter than in the past. I don't know. It's pretty. What do you guys think? I still see some of the glitter coming through, and so I think every shade in here has some form of glitter. It's not the same as the universal. I need to find that. Like that actually, I start going into like when I can't find it because it's truly one of my like most used products. I'm like, where is it? I'm actually going to dip into this first shade, the one that was more subdued. Just add a little bit to the inner corner. Has like a pink iridescence. And then I am gonna dip back into that pink just to try to even out a little bit here. I'm gonna dip in a little bit to this Nabla blush. This is in Petite. I love this formula. It's just really lightweight and buildable. I just wanna go over this a smidge just so it doesn't look like too highlighty. These are very, very buildable, so they would be great if you like more of a subtle blush or if you like a really, really lightweight formula. They don't go on crazy pigmented, so you kind of can't go wrong with them. I just wanted to kind of blend that in a little bit more. Moving on to lips, I have some exciting products. So I purchased a few of these. A couple of them came in PR. I saw these launch from Anastasia Beverly Hills and I had to grab these. So there's a bunch of colors of new lip liners and new lipsticks, but these shades are so grungy and fun. So I want to swatch them for you and then we'll kind of decide. I hope one of them will look okay with what we have on. So I have the lip liner in Stormy. This one is probably the funnest of the bunch. It is like a grayish purple. It's giving me like MAC Stone, maybe a little bit lighter. And I love the ABH lip liner formula. It's like one of my favorites. And then we also have Amethyst. Now this is deeper and it has like a purple black base. This would be so beautiful for like a ombre sort of lip. I don't know how I'm gonna use these with what I have on my eyes. We're gonna just do what we can. And then I also got Cinnamon. I think this is like a mauve brown. I don't know. The purple I don't know. It feels like it might be too much. And then I also got a lipstick. So this is in the color Soft Haze. It's like a really beautiful nude gray. So I was hoping like maybe I could mix, I don't know, these two shades or these two shades. We're just gonna go for it and see what happens. So I'm gonna wipe this off and I'm just gonna throw caution to the wind and go in with the deep one. I don't know, I just feel like this could be fun. So I need to concentrate here. Oh yeah, you can see that purple. It's actually not as scary as I thought. And this is one of my favorite lip liner formulas. It does have a little bit of a slip to it because I have a little bit of that Laneige left over, but I wanted to use this lipstick. I'm hoping that this looks okay. This is in Soft Haze. I actually don't think it looks bad, but I'm gonna take a smidge of this Bobbi Brown corrector. This is in Light Bisque. Just wanna lighten the center. I'm gonna have to experiment with these, but I'm so happy that I bought these just because I love these tones and I do think that lip is beautiful. I just think we have a lot going on. So I wanna play around with these lip glosses. So these are from Lawless. They sent these over to me and these are the Love Shack Fancy collab. So we have two different shades here. We have Happy Thoughts, which I thought we may use today. I think it's like a purple shimmer. Ooh, that is so pretty. I didn't realize it was gonna be so pigmented. Oh my gosh, it has like a beautiful iridescence. And then we also have Bloom Heirloom. I think this is like more of a pink, icy. Yeah, so you can see that there's like a baby pink and then there's more of like that purple shimmer. So I think I'm gonna go in with the purple one. These smell really good. Oh my God, look how white my hand is. You guys, let's not talk about it. So I'm gonna go in with Happy Thoughts, which is the purpley one. I'm gonna use my fingertip because I don't wanna ruin this. Ooh, that's pretty. There we go. Okay. I'm loving these lip products. I know that I look crazy right now, but ooh, that is beautiful. I am gonna go back into the Dior palette, and I think I'm gonna use this light shade, again, the more subtle one, just to add a little bit down the center of my nose. We have one more product to test. There's a ton of setting sprays coming out. So I purchased this one, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray Matte Blur. A light as air, waterproof and mattifying formula to prime and set makeup for up to 16 hours. It says shake it to wake it. This mattifying magic takes a moment. Spray the microfine mist across the face and wait a few moments for the powder blur technology to activate. As it dries down, you see the blurring and mattifying effect happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and shake it. As you can hear, it has a little ball in there, and I ended up getting the mini just to try. I'm a huge fan of the original, but I wanna see how this compares. Okay, it smells just like the original. Seems like it has a good mister. So I'm just gonna go ahead and douse myself with it. The mister is really nice. I like that because it does like really get onto the skin. I see maybe like one little droplet down here, but I don't know if it'll actually like leave anything. So it says to give it a minute. So I'm just letting this sink in. I will say that I can feel like a little bit of stickiness on my hair. So that is something I have noticed with certain setting sprays. Looks like that little droplet is gone now. You guys have to let me know if you see any blurring or mattifying. In terms of being matte, I already was matte, so it's kind of hard to tell. When I look at my viewfinder, it does look like it is getting more matte and smooth, but I don't know if my mind's playing tricks on me or what. So you guys have to let me know if you notice anything down below. All right, guys, so this is my finished look, trying out a bunch of new products. We have some wins and some misses. So unfortunately, I just had a hard time with this Hung Van Gogh purple palette. I had no issues with the almost neutral or almost, I can't remember what it was called, but the one I used in my previous video, I had zero issues with. I do feel like this would be better if you pack the shades on and don't do as much blending because they do seem to kind of diffuse out. And I also would like to try this without any powder on my lids because I do think that they would adhere better. When you do pack these on, it is quite pigmented, but there's something about when I was blending it, I just could not get that pigment to stay where I wanted. And then if you look around the edges, it's just choppy. I tried to blend it as much as I could. Again, there's like 8 different colorways, I wanna say. So many other options to choose from. Now the Clarins Lip Perfector, I really like this. Again, I like that it has a nice pigment to it. It's really shiny. It smells good. This is more of like a lip balm kind of product that I would throw in my purse. It just has the right amount of shine and feel to be kind of like a hybrid for me. So I've really been enjoying this. Moving on to the Charlotte Tilbury foundation. I look pretty heavy and textured. I could have used more than I should have, and that's something that I do tend to do. I go a little heavy-handed. So I'll try this again. I may try this with like a sponge. It may sort of sheer it out. It looked pretty good initially, other than the color being too deep and warm. But when I look at my pores here, it just looks pretty heavy and cakey. I don't know if it's just this or if it's mixed with that one size powder that I pulled down. So again, I'll have to keep testing it, but it feels comfortable other than it just looks heavy, specifically on this side more so than the rest of my face. So I want to see how this wears throughout the day. Very, very full coverage, definitely like a full glam type of foundation, I don't think that this is gonna be for those of you that want that like your skin but better look. So I'll update as I wear it throughout the day. And then the MPH contour palette, perfect packaging, very, very luxe. And I did like the contour shade that I used. I also thought that I liked this under eye corrector, but once I put the concealer from RMS on top, something happened where it lifted and kind of clung in certain areas. So I'm gonna have to use these separately because I already know that I love this. I've used it many times alone and had no issues with it. So I will keep playing around with this. I think it's probably better suited again for a more like natural foundation. The RMS concealer, absolutely love it. I love the brush. I love how hydrating it is. Really nice medium coverage, smoothing. It just looks beautiful, which makes me believe that layering it with that color corrector is what kind of made it bunch up here. The One Size powder, I'm not sure. I am kind of intrigued, as I said, but I want to play around with this. It has a really interesting like silky texture, and I do think that it's innovative. I like that it's not overly glowy. I know a lot of people like the Hourglass powders. Those are a little bit too glowy for me to put all over, and this is definitely a step down. So I'll keep trying this and kind of update. I do really like this Too Faced blush. I think it's really beautiful. Of course, I did add on that Nabla, but this formula is really, really nice if you want something that you don't have to set. It's not overly dewy. If you're a matte type of person, I think this is really beautiful, and the shade looks scarier in the tube than it does on the skin. I'm also really happy that I purchased this Laneige Lip Glowy Balm. It felt really nice and hydrating, and I love the shimmer shine that it gave. So I think I'm gonna go back for the other one just because it's so pretty for the holidays. And I'm undecided on the Dior palette. I do feel like it's not the same glitter formula from the past that I've absolutely disliked and regretted purchasing, but it's also not the same as the original Universal. This one has a mixture. It's like a softer iridescent shade, and then this one really feels most like the original palette, and then you have these two that kind of have that like glittery mix. So I'm gonna have to continue to test this out. I either was ready to hate this and be disappointed or love this, but I think I'm somewhere in the middle, which kind of surprises me. Moving on to the lip products, these are hands down the standouts for me today. So happy that I purchased this lip liner from ABH. I think it's gonna be so beautiful for the winter and fall, and I'm also happy that I got 2 other shades. I may just go back and get the last one because I think there was 4 new lip liners. Absolutely love this formula, and I felt like it wasn't too overpowering or scary to apply. And then I do really like the shade of this lipstick. I think I would like to pair it with different cheeks and different eyes, but I do really like this shade. I find that it's quite unique, and they did have a bunch of grungy shades, so definitely check them out. And then the Lawless glosses are so pretty. I love that they have such a nice like iridescence to them. I love the packaging, and I am a huge fan of the Lawless glosses in general. And then I don't know how to feel about the setting spray. I do like the mister. I feel like it coats the skin really nicely, and it does have the same scent as the original, and I really like the original. I can't tell just looking at my skin right now if it mattified or blurred. Again, all I'm seeing is like this heavy cakiness, which it's just the foundation, and also I probably did apply more than I needed. So I'll have to update on this. I wanna watch my footage back and see if I notice anything, but my first impression is good, and I'm excited to keep using it and trying it with different formulas. All right, guys, so I think that is everything for this trying new makeup. I hope you got to see some new products in action. I have more products to test, so I'm trying to try these products, film for you, and get these videos out as soon as I can. Just waiting on things to launch and my packages to arrive. So let me know what you think about this look, the products that I tried, and if you're gonna pick any of these up. Of course, I will link everything down below, as well as through YouTube shopping. And if you do use my links, I really appreciate it. It does allow me to purchase more products to review for you guys. So all of the information will be down below in my description box. If you did enjoy this video and you wanna see more trying new makeup videos, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. As always, thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.